Hi, I'm Pastor Charlie Avila with Clovis Christian Center. I want to welcome you to these short videos here. There's going to be 4 of them that I'm going to speak to those of you who are interested in becoming members here at Clovis Christian Center. I put these videos together because many people have been asking to get more information about our church, and I thought this would be an easy way to communicate with me. You can watch this in the comfort of your own home. I can tell you things about our church that will help you understand a little bit more about who we are and what we're doing. So I want to give you 4 videos. They're going to be short. The first one's going to be on our history. I'll give you the background of the church. The next one's going to be on our doctrine. I'm going to tell you what we believe. I'm also going to talk about our ministries here in the church. We have a lot of different ministries that are going on. And finally, I'm going to give you my thoughts on expectations that we have of you as a new member. So let's start with our history. Clovis Christian Center, how did we come into being? Well, it all starts in Anchorage, Alaska, of all places. There was a church there called Abbott Loop Christian Center, and it was headed up by a man named Dick Benjamin and another man named Dick Strutz back in 1959. And this church became very much a church planting ministry. They planted hundreds of churches back in the 60s and 70s, and a very, very strong church. And here on the screen, you're seeing a picture from 1972 of Abbott Loop there in Anchorage, Alaska. And this is the place that started our church, all the way back there. There was no Clovis Christian Center without this church. The man who was the main leader, his name was Richard Benjamin. Everybody called him Dick. And he was a good friend of mine. He knew me, and he spent time here in our church preaching. He encouraged me, gave me a lot of wisdom and understanding. He was a very strong man, a man of integrity. That's what he preached all the time. Always do things with integrity. He lived to be 94 years old, and he passed away back in August of 2019. And so he was the founding leader of Abbott Loop Christian Center. The one who went to his church to be trained and taught was Pastor Samuel Meshagan, he and his wife Sandy. And so Pastor Sam is the founding pastor of Clovis Christian Center. And at the time that this video is recording, he's still with us. He's a member of our church. We're thankful for that, and he's a blessing. He was a very gracious, humble man, a man very merciful, a man very committed, he and his wife Sandy, to the Lord. And so I thank God for him. Irma and I came to Clovis Christian Center back in 1991. And this is actually a picture of us in early 1992. My daughter had just been, I'm thinking my daughter's 31 years old now, but this is when we dedicated her to the Lord. There's a picture of us there with Pastor Sam. It's my wife Irma there. And this is our daughter Leah. And at the time, again, of this recording, she's 31 years old now. But she was a little girl, and we dedicated her to the Lord. So this would have been in April of 1993. And so we committed her to the Lord. So that's when we came. When I came here, I became an elder. I was like the associate pastor under Pastor Sam, and I was the Wednesday night Bible teacher. I did a lot of teaching here on Wednesday night for many, many years. Just tell you quickly about my family. Irma is my wife. I have a daughter, Leah, who is married to a man who's in medical school right now. Leah is a math teacher. She has degrees from Cal Poly and UCLA. She teaches math at the high school and college level. I have a son, my son Daniel, also a college graduate, and he's very anointed. Both of my kids happen to be very gifted musicians, keyboard, guitar players, drummers, and bass players, and so on. So I can't play an instrument to save my life, but my children sure can. After Dick Benjamin and that church planting movement planted all these churches, Dick Benjamin retired. So we joined with another group. And that group was somebody that I also knew and Pastor Sam knew, and that was with Worldwide Ministries and Don Kreider. Don Kreider knew many, many ministers, and he preached a lot, and he came and preached at our church here quite a bit. And they had a simple model, just people reaching people. And Don was just a real man of God, and I was under his leadership for many, many years. At Worldwide Ministries, I was licensed and ordained, ended up becoming an overseer, a bishop with their ministry, and presently I'm a vice president of that ministry organization. And so we're still with Worldwide, we're still functioning. They have their annual conventions here every June in our church, and Don Kreider was the founder, along with a lady named Arlene Gregory, who I was also friends with. But it was in 2003 that I talked to my friend Keith Jasmijian, because we really needed to be part of a larger organization. If I were to keel over, Worldwide was not going to send a pastor over here to replace me. So we had to join a larger group. And I knew Pastor Keith Jasmijian and his wife Kim for many years. And so in 2005, I became licensed with Foursquare. And it was eventually in 2010 that we became a Foursquare church. And later on, I was ordained. And so I'm also part of the Foursquare Church. We are a Foursquare church, and so that is our background. We are a Pentecostal church. We believe in the gifts of the Spirit. We're going to say more about that in just a minute regarding our doctrine. I want to tell you a little bit about our property here. This is looking out towards the church that's behind us, Mountain View Church. We own 5 acres of property here, all the way back to that main flag there, where their parking lot moves out, like it looks like it goes into our property. But we own 5 acres of property here, and we own all of our property and all of our buildings. We're a debt-free church, and we're thankful to the Lord for that. So we have this facility here where our kids can play. They can play volleyball, they can use their scooters or whatever. We have a youth building here in the back for our teen ministry. And we also have a building here for one of our ministries, a women's ministry office here and we're also, our women's ministry director does a lot of discipling. So we have these buildings here on our property. So I want to tell you a little bit about our building here. This is actually a 4-bedroom house built in 1950 that came from Reedley. They actually moved it here and plopped it down. Clovis Christian Center owned 20 acres of property here, and we ended up selling it to the church behind us many, many years ago. It was a previous church. So it's an L-shaped, 15 acres, an L shape. We're that little front here of 5 acres. So we own 20 acres. We sold 15 acres to the larger church, and we have this front 5 acres. So the rooms in the back used to be bedrooms. The bathrooms were the bathrooms into the bedrooms that were part of this house. And there was a little kitchen right here. The sanctuary area here actually was a detached garage. And there used to be a fireplace, an outdoor stone fireplace right over here where the tithe box is. So this all got converted. This has been through a lot of remodeling. We connected the detached garage. We put walls up here and connected it to the back area where all the classrooms are now for our Sunday school. So this is just a brief history. We started out as part of a church planting movement out of Alaska with Dick Benjamin. Pastor Sam went and got trained there, and he was the founding pastor. He was the pastor for over 20 years, and I have been the pastor since here at this church. My wife and I have been here since 1991. I've been the pastor since 1996. So that's a brief history of our church, and I hope that helps you to understand a little bit about our background.